invent drones, but now they want to regulate them. I find it interesting that anything that happens in the private sector, the government at some point decides that, yeah, really, we own it, so we're going to regulate it. And I don't know, maybe that's what they're going to be doing with the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, with these with this device known as this equipment known as the Stingray. So that yeah, look, I always, you've heard in the movies, when they were on landline phones, we can't talk in this phone because they were afraid that somebody had tapped into the line and that type of thing. Well, now it's the same thing with your cell phone. You can't say anything important or secretive on your cell phone because you never know who's going to be listening in and who's intercepting that communication. And you never know when you say the wrong thing at the wrong time, and next thing you know, you got a bunch of people dressed in armored suits or in black suits knocking your door in, and raiding your home. It's happened a lot, sad to say, in this country. You would think sometimes the way our law enforcement agencies act, you think that we were in a third world. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to say third world because that's a micro. In some less developed, less westernized nation, I guess is that how we should probably say it. That's probably a microaggression. I don't know how you would describe it then. How would you describe a third world country without being microaggressive? Anything I say, obviously, is going to end up being a micro-aggressive statement or phrase from the left. This is why I'm not politically correct, because I fail miserably at it. I don't know how to be politically correct. And, whoop, now see, I did it again. That's a microaggression by saying politically correct. So, I can't win. I work really hard at doing, no. That's also construed as being racist and probably a microaggression. So, I guess the whole thing, look, if I see, I can't even, what can I use beside the word politically correct? So I'm going to try to be something more, to a wimpy's probably a microaggression. Some less than standardized traditional manly action. Then I guess I can't. Yeah, that's not going to work. The hell with it. So if I'm not politically correct, they're going to try to shut me up. But hell, this is not a third world banana country. And, I work hard for my money because I'm a hard worker. Just like I know a lot of other people out there work very hard and they're hard workers and they're not out there in the fields picking cotton. So, if the IRS wants to try to, or any other agency wants to listen in on my conversations, which I would say is illegal, then go right ahead. Because if anything, I'm the one who is out there trying to save this nation, not destroy it. I don't want us to become a third world nation where nobody has to work hard because the government pays for everything. Because everybody wants to be sucking off the public dole. Really, I don't. I know. Generally speaking, there are people. Well, they just ambition. If somebody's ambitious, if that's a microaggression too, who are not. There's a guy online that goes by, and it's kind of funny because I think he makes quite a bit of money because he has a YouTube channel that has thousands of followers. He goes by the moniker of lazy ass stoner, and he's a Brit, by the way. He's a Brit. I don't know, is pot legal in England now? I don't know, but he goes by the. And if you watch, I've watched a few because he's into social marketing and things like that, and that's kind of the business that I watch some of his videos. And I got at least half of I've probably seen half a dozen videos, and I would say at least half of those videos he is definitely stoned. But I guess I'm going to assume that saying somebody's a stoner is probably going to be construed as a microaggression too. As I don't know, call somebody a stoner. Who are you offending? Stones? Rocks? I don't. Or maybe the Rolling Stones. I don't know. You're going to have to. How apropos. Hell, we should just all make our own little countries and secede from the nation. Well, how apropos, because I have that in my paper pile as well. CBS Las Vegas is reporting that a man is building his own sovereign nation on a remote piece of land in Utah. A New York man. New York. Hard-working man in New York. A New York man is building his own sovereign nation called Zakistan, Zaqistan, on a remote piece of land in Utah. Now, Zach, Z-A-Q, Landsberg, has created a yellow and red flag, official-looking passports, and a border patrol gate guarded by a giant robot security for the realm. The conceptual goal is I want to become a real country, said Landsberg, its president. I mean, the goal is not going to happen. It's impossible, but going through the motions, I'm trying to make that happen. Well, how are you trying to make it happen if you know it can't happen? He even created a motto for the land of Zakistan, something from nothing. Now, Zakistan works the best, he says, when it's wedged up against the real world and when the passports circulate. When he bought the sagebrush-covered stretch of Utah backcountry a decade ago, the city-dwelling Landsberg was amazed at how removed it was. It's about 60 miles from the nearest town and 15 miles away from the nearest paved road. While he calls the area harsh and desolate, it's also appealing. So, you might want to try to contact Zach Landsberg of Zakistan out there in Utah and see if you can I don't know. If he's not careful, he might end up going the way of like Ruby Ridge or something. Feds aren't going to be too happy with somebody trying to create their own country within the state of Utah. Hey, Utahans might go for it, but the Fed isn't. Utah could say, "Well, go ahead. We'll let you secede a small sliver for Zakistan." Fed wouldn't allow it. They'd come in there with tanks and guns ablazing, saying, "No, you're a terrorist," and all that kind of stuff. So, Good for. They don't say how old Zach is. Hey, good for Zach. Landsberg, isn't that kind of also? Zach Landsberg of Zakistan, president of Zakistan. Now, I wonder if he's still paying taxes, and if the IRS is going to, send out stuff out there. Spy stuff to spy on. You already heard the story about pork. I'm not even going to read it. Look, personally, myself, I don't eat pork. But pork and red meat, according to the World Health Organization, for the first time today, I actually heard a liberal newscaster call it WHO. Yeah, they said the WHO organization is saying that blah, blah, blah. Who? Who exactly is the WHO? They're a United Nations organization, by the way. Department, if you will. But they're out there saying that pork and red meat can cause cancer. It's just as unhealthy and as bad for you as cigarettes. Now, you have to understand, now, who are the people that are going to jump up and down at this news? You got it, the radical vegan vegetarian set. Because after all, eating meat is not only cruel and inhumane, but it's also contributing to global warming. And if we get rid of cows and we get rid of pigs and we get rid of chickens, then they won't be polluting the air and everything and the water and stuff like that. So we'll save the planet if we all just went vegan. So one of the ways to do it is to scare you, because the left, all they have is scare tactics, because they do not have real science behind anything. So what they have is a scare tactic. Hey, here's a scare tactic. If you eat red meat or if you eat pork, you will die. And there are going to be some people out there who actually listen to that drivel, because they're going to be so scared. I don't eat pork anyway. I don't, I eat turkey bacon. I'll eat regular real bacon every once in a while, but that's about it. That's about it. But I ain't giving up my beef or my bison. Stuff's too tasty. Member of PETA, people eating tasty animals. Saudi prince. I have enough time to go over this story in depth. No, I don't. But a perverted Saudi prince ordered his entire staff to strip naked at his Beverly Hills mansion pool and said, "I want to see some blank." Maybe we'll get to that tomorrow.